Hi, I'm here with an adorable dog in my lap to do another segment of Christians Answered. It's been a little while. I was busy with the individual World Poetry Slam, which came here to Phoenix recently, and was amazing. I got to compete and teach a workshop and host a queer open mic, and it was really amazing. I've said amazing like 4 times. I feel like half the time when I talk as a poet, I'm really self conscious about the fact that I use words more than once close together, and then I feel like it sounds like I need to own a thesaurus. Anyway, the question I've been meaning to answer for a while is one I've gotten from several people, and it's a question with multiple variations about coming out. A lot of really young LGBTQ people see my work and they'll ask me like advice on that, which, by the way, feels a little odd. Like I mean, I know I'm not like a stranger, but like asking a stranger like how do I come out? I don't know what your life looks like, and I think that really the first question you need to ask yourself when you're thinking about coming out uh, is it safe? Like, are you risking anything? What parts of yourself are you risking if you decide to come out? Um, I grew up in a really conservative family, and had I come out in high school, there was a really good chance I would have ended up in like an ungaying your kid camp. Years later, as an adult, I made like a joke when I was trying to explain to my mom what the movie "But I'm a Cheerleader" was about, and I was like, "Yeah, that movie is like funny, but I mean, it's what a lot of kids in high school fear, including myself when I was in high school." And she was like, "Well, what do you mean?" And I was like, like if I came out in high school, would I have been like sent away? And like she was just like, "Oh, I could see that." And I was like, "Yeah, that's that's why I couldn't come out in high school." Um, but I think there's like a lot of connotation um, and a lot of emphasis around this whole come out wherever you are sort of ideology as a method of politics. People talk a lot about the personal being political, and you need to be out so people can see that like there are gay people and there are lesbian people and bisexual people and trans people and all of that, or they'll never get used to us. And coming out isn't something you're doing for everyone else. Yeah, visibility is really, really important, but your survival and ability to grow up and become a person who can do things and sustain yourself um, is more important in any given moment. Um, yeah. So another thing you should probably think about before you decide to come out is what other effects might this have on your life? Like maybe coming out isn't going to make you in danger of becoming a homeless LGBTQ youth, but maybe it means your parents aren't going to help you with college, or you'll be kicked out of other parts of your life that are really important to you. Um, like I know gay Christians, and I know a few who have told me that they came out and they lost their ability to interact with their faith because their church would kick them out, and um, other things like that. Like gayness or queerness or transness isn't the extent of who you are. It is part of it, and it informs a lot of your decisions. Like I always say when people ask me why I do so many like gay and queer poems, um, that I can't not do a queer poem. That anything I say or do is informed by the fact that I move through the world with an awareness that I'm read as being queer, and that my sensibilities are really sort of constructed from that experience and understanding of myself. Um, so yeah, I guess safety and taking into account everything else is a big deal. I personally, when I came out, my sister outed me my very first year of college to my dad and my stepmom. And then I was like, oh God, I have to tell my mom. Like, I can't let my mom not know when my dad and everyone does, like, already know, and she'll find out from somebody else. And I had, if you've seen my work on anxiety, I had a lot of anxiety around who would find out when. Um, so I tried to tell her, and it was a big process. And I told her in a letter because I was a big scaredy cat. Like, that's all I could manage. That was the best I could do. Um, I mean, it wasn't a great situation. My mom told me that it was a lot like I had died, and she was mourning my death when we eventually did talk after she read the letter. But I think another thing that you have to think about when you tell people that you're gay or you're trans or you're queer or you're bi or pansexual or asexual or whatever you are, if it's not what's expected of you, that people might not react well. And that even if you know they're not going to react well and you feel like you have to tell them anyway for whatever reason, personal or outside of yourself, then there's no preparing. Like, you can know that they're going to say something horrible and your feelings are not going to feel better because you knew your mom was going to say something awful. Or you're not going, even if you know your parents are going to kick you out, it's not like you're going to not have the emotional response if they do. So I think that's something that's really, really important when you consider coming out. To end, I will tell you the best way anyone has ever come out to me, and that is via pop-up card. When I was in college, I had a couple of friends that, like, when I'd met them, they were our straight friends, and they ended up actually being a couple. They're a lesbian couple, and they're married now, and they are fantastic. But in the middle of the night, I got this phone call. It was probably like 2 o'clock in the morning, and they asked, hey, where are you? Are you home? And I was like, yeah, I'm at home. And they were like, okay, go to your porch. So I like went to my front porch, and they were nowhere to be seen, but there was like a letter, like an envelope, just sitting on the porch. And I like picked up the envelope, and they're like, do you have the envelope? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, okay. And then they were just gone. Like, they just hung up the phone. And I opened the card, and it's a pop-up card with like a toaster oven inside that's like, you've converted us, like, you've won this toaster oven with like rainbows and like weird stuff all over it. It was definitively the most entertaining way anyone's ever come out with to me. So I am now an advocate of, if you can come out, consider doing it with a pop-up card, or come up with something even more bizarre. In the comments, it would be awesome if you would leave me the weirdest way you've ever come out or someone's ever come out to you. Or if you just have like a really cool, little interesting coming out story to tell. Or if you have a sad one and you want a little bit of support. Like, I'm going to read everyone's comments, and I'm very likely to respond to all of them. So yeah, leave me a comment. Follow me on Tumblr. I've been posting a lot of new work. I'm working on a lot of new pieces, including sort of a love poem, and I'm excited for when that's actually done. It's been difficult. I'm not really good at writing love poems. Like, it freaks me out to write them. I've only ever written love poems, or poems that would be perceived to be love poems, after the fact, like after I broke up with someone and have perspective. And this is my first attempt at writing one that's new and like in process and happening. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, I have so much more to say on coming out. So maybe ask me some more questions about the difference between coming out as gay or coming out as trans, or if you want to hear the story of the one time I tried to explain to my mom I was queer, we can do that. Just more questions would be great. And then I could answer more things, because I've already talked way too long on this video. Yeah, so have a good day. Sorry I talked for 9 minutes instead of my usual like 4. And keep following me and reposting and things and sending questions. Bye. And Rook also says, this is Rook, he also says goodbye. He's very sleepy. It's hard to be a dog. He doesn't have to worry about coming out, but people just always assume he is a dog. Alright. Bye.